Hello everyone, this is Banter Bill, and welcome to Twilight Arbor Forward Path. This is not a speedrunning guide, but a guide meant for those who are new to the dungeon, or for those who need a refresher. For this dungeon, you want Nightmare Court slaying potions, and as a guardian, I use lifesteal food. Your main job as a guardian at the start of the dungeon is to clear these plants and to make sure your team gets safely by those wolves. I use stand your ground as we pass the wolves and retreat on these husks. Both of these mobs have knockdown attacks and they can chain knock you down, which gets very annoying. If I see that my team has made it all the way through safely, I go ahead and run in with my staff to clear all the plants. Again, these plants have very annoying poison fields and they can really hurt your team. This part is exactly the same as the up path because we actually haven't chosen what path we're doing yet. The main thing you need to watch out for with these worms is their AoE circle attack. You can either dodge it, or as a guardian I blind that attack using my F1 skill. The only thing you need to be careful about using the F1 skill is that if someone steps in one of their spit rings, it could trigger the blind. So I try to use it as late as possible. I recommend melee on these worms. If you use ranged attacks, the worm's spit will be attracted to you. Once we kill 5 of these worms, we go ahead and fight the champion in the middle. Most groups do not kill the 6th worm that spawns with the champion. So we kill that 5th worm, and we're on to fight the champion. Blinds will not be as effective against champions, so I use retreat in the first AoE circle. You might consider interrupting that first AoE circle, for example with an ice bow. On subsequent AoE circle rings, I either use stay in your ground or hallowed ground. I still dodge it if I'm there just because I don't want to take that damage. This is more for my teammates so they don't get knocked back into poison fields. And once you kill the champion, you get a waypoint so your dead teammates can respawn, and we're off to pick the path.
They've butchered him. I promise you, your death will not be in vain. There are 2 paths. Which one shall I open?
So again, as a guardian, I want to use staff at the start to clear the annoying blossoms. Wall is also useful for this part coming up because the enemies use projectile attacks. So I try to place my wall in between both these guys so that players meleeing either of the ads will be protected by my wall. So we're on to the third one, and there are advanced tactics here. If you don't target these archers, they won't use their evade attack. Now, if you're in a pickup group, it's unlikely that everyone is going to know this, so you may as well target them anyway. But if you're in a full guild group, because if no one clicks or tabs on these archers, they won't use their evade attack. So we go ahead and kill the archers, then we're off to the next part of the dungeon. Now, most groups will kill the warden champion that's coming up. However, if you recommend that you should kill the worm and the warden at the same time, most groups will say yes. However, they won't do it unless you ask for it. So if we pull the warden over to this worm, we can kill 2 champs at once. This champion worm has the same mechanics as the champion worm we just fought. So I use retreat on the first AoE circle, or stability, just something to block that attack. And in this way we get 2 champion bags instead of 1. Alright, moving on. I go ahead and change my staff to a greatsword because we're about to go into a mechanic where projectiles have no effect. And the third attack on my sword is a projectile. Now these bubbles, if you walk through them, they will insta-down you. However, if you have Aegis going in, you can dodge through the bubble and make it in safely. So as a guardian, I pop my F3, my retreat, my renew focus, and my F3 again, so I can get through 3 of the bubbles and get my teammates through 3 of the bubbles. If you don't have enough Aegises, the mechanic here is that you take the teleporters and you'll come out where the cog is showing. However, I found it easier just to rotate around in Aegis rotation. As a Guardian, I can get through the last one solo using my heal skill, however I can't get my teammates through the last one. Again, projectiles will not work through these bubbles, so don't even try. For example, that's what happens when you walk through a teleporter. Alright, most groups will wait behind this tree for the wolves to pass by. These wolves have a nasty knockdown attack, so you want to avoid them if you can. So we wait for the wolves to pass by, and then, again, as a Guardian, I clear this part with my staff. Now, if you want to wait at the part coming up here, you can stealth or heal up or whatever you need to do before moving on. There's usually a knight or a necromancer mob in this group that has a fear or a knockdown, so retreat or stand your ground is useful there. If you do go down, try to rally off a blossom if there's still some left. So most groups will take a break here to heal up and stack swiftness, and we're going to run again.
Retreat!
As a Guardian, I try to save my stability for the last group of mobs coming up. That group is usually what kills people. So I pop my stand your ground as I pass the mobs, and then I also put a staff 5 there, so they can't chase us. Then it's just a matter of clearing blossoms for my teammates. And we're just going to clear blossoms all the way through. There is a huge pack of wolves coming up, which if you have a stacking sigil, you can get up to 25 pretty easily. I have a stacking sigil on my staff, and I get from 0 to 25 just from this set of mobs. Then we're going to stack for this boss. Most groups will still stack here, even though this is the old FGF spot. It does pull all the mobs into a single place. As a Guardian, I equip Wall of Reflection, Hollowed Ground, and Retreat. If you have blind skills or stability skills, you want to use them here. The Knight, which is an elite mob, has a nasty knockdown attack, and he can chain knock you down. The Wall of Reflection is for the Archer and Laurent. He has a ranged attack as well. So once we kill the ads, it's just a matter of DPSing Laurent. He does hit pretty hard, so I try to space out my Aegises as much as I can. Sometimes though, I either just decide to go down and let my teammates revive me, or back off for a bit. If you do go down, you can rally off a Blossom if you can see one. Alright, then we're on to fight the final boss, which is another Nightmare Tree. For this boss, you're going to want Blinds and Stability. If you're an Elementalist, you want Lightning Hammer and Ice Bow. Those are especially useful here. Since I can't crit the tree, I decided to take some skills out of my crit line and put them into my last line for some continuity removal and stability. If you melee him, you can get double damage. This also has the added benefit of stacking boons with your teammates. If someone goes down, they're easier to revive, and the ads, which will spawn in a second, will come to you. If you have blinds or something, you can keep them blinded. So some of my teammates are fighting out away from the tree, which is not the best strategy. You want to fight on the tree so the ads come to you. Also, I have to back off the tree a bit to revive him. So in this fight, I just tried to stagger my Aegis, my stability, and my blinds, and take down the tree and avoid the ads' attacks. And that is it! We killed another Nightmare Tree in Twilight Arbor. Thanks for watching.